Right, it's almost quite a relief after that AGM to come in a room amongst friends and present this. For those of you who don't know, I am ASPiH's operations manager, but I have multiple hats, and one of them is I run a consultancy business, Sim Support, which is, this is the presentation on some of the work that I've done through that. Last year, I was asked by a university in the northern part of the country to help them with the procurement and the operationalising of their new facility. It was a state-of-the-art facility. There's a couple of pictures later on, which some of you will probably identify with. But I was asked to go in. They were at the stage, probably too late a stage, to actually have any input as regards, obviously Catherine, you've just talked about rooms and space and everything. I was sort of helicoptered in much later on, so the rooms and the sizes and everything was already established. But what wasn't established was actually what they were going to put in the rooms. Those pictures on the left was the type of facility that they were coming from. And those on the right is the state-of-the-art building that they were going to move into. The skills and simulation suite was actually on the top floor of the new build. And obviously they were going to be able to decant quite a lot of equipment across, but as you can see from the pictures on the left, the actual equipment matched the building that they were in. There was a lot of old equipment in there. And the faculty, obviously, the Faculty of Health and Social Work that they were called, included all 4 branches of nursing, ODP. They were going to start with ODP practice as well, so there was going to be quite a lot of activity in this space. So, initial equipment budget. When I first started, first meeting I had with them, that was the figure that I was given. And then, the first day I actually sort of walked in to start what we were going to do, I was told it was going to be cut by 30%. You know, when you think, hang on a minute, you gave me that figure and now you're saying you want me to do it with this figure. So immediately there was a tremendous challenge on, because the faculties had all put together their wish lists. Oh, I want this, I want that. And the total was that figure on the left. But they all still expected the kit, even though we're going to have a reduced budget. So I am quite creative, I am quite innovative, and you know when you think, I don't know whether I'm going to manage this. They were quite, you've got to. You know, they still wanted the kit, but it was going to be difficult. So there were 5 ways, and this was my little bit of an acronym. I needed the drive to actually do the project, but this is how it actually looked. They're not in the order of priority, to be honest, because the last one is probably the biggest impact on this project, but I will start with donations at the top. So, they created this wish list, and on this wish list was quite a lot of bits of kit that they said, oh, well, so-and-so would probably donate towards that, or we could, you know, market the fact that we are looking for donated funds for specific bits of kit. But on the list for the donated funds was actually things like pumps. And you know when you think, who wants to buy a pump? So completely rehashed that, and there were 5 items of equipment on this sort of marketing material that I put together. And I'm going to say they were more the sexy bits of simulation. You know, we had the fold-away ambulance on there. We had various bits of kits that would actually impact. You know, some of the resus kit went on there. So that, we did in the end get closer to 50 grand come through donated funds for these bits of kit. So that was one part. Redundant equipment. Everything that was in that very archaic building that was on the left. My first question, what are you going to do with all this lot? Some bits were earmarked to come across to the new facility, but there was loads that they were looking at. I don't know, skip. You know, you think, hang on a minute. And this ties in a little bit with E on the bottom. The companies that I was approaching as regards buying second-hand kit, they were quite interested in the part exchange side of things. You know, give us that Jane and we'll put it towards that Jane. And also the redundant equipment, as old as it was, actually a lot of it went abroad. Third world countries. You know, they were old mannequins. They were, I'm not going to say the beds went abroad, but a lot of even the larger pieces of equipment, 5 minutes, actually, you know, they needed to go somewhere, not on a skip. Industry. We've all got good relationships with our industry, and we all try to exploit them as often as possible, but they were absolutely brilliant, even with a little bit of complementary items as well. VAT, now this is a biggie with the universities because you can usually get it through one way or the other to obviously the VAT 0 rating, so that was a biggie. I know it's not so useful in trusts to do that. E, now, this is tremendous. You can see the cost savings that we established of buying second-hand kit. And when I say second-hand kit, it is not inferior by any means. Some of it is that hardly looks like it's been used. I mean, that anaesthetic machine, the saving on that. So there was, you know, nearly 100 grand saved on buying refurbished kit. One of the companies is actually here at ASPiH, Freelance Surgical. Don't know whether you've been and seen him, but I had a lot of kit off him. The other company is Benz's. And the other company, I kept telling him, please change your name, don't stash it, cash it. But he was brilliant, and I'm still negotiating with him with kit. Okay, so, last slide. We might keep calm and stay on the budget, good one, like the Crown. And we actually opened the facility, and the Queen opened the facility. And that's the operating theatre, so there she is at the back. I was stuck behind the lady in waiting who was about 6 foot tall, operating the baby. But it's a moment that I won't forget. But yeah, so we did it within budget. Thank you very much.